Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Minister, for your kind reply, please.
Sir, thank you very much. This is a very important bill, as has been recognized by most of the members who spoke in this discussion. It's important because in the last 1.5 to 2 years, we've come to know of so many cooperative banks or cooperative societies which are functioning as banks and calling themselves as banks who have come into difficulties. The oft-repeated example is of the PMC Bank, where there are others also. I come from Karnataka city. Bangalore has faced Guru Raghavendra, also a cooperative bank, which has had very serious difficulties. And in presenting this particular set of amendments, I wish to highlight and state upfront that this set of amendments to the Banking Regulation Act is being brought to completely protect the interest of depositors. And that is why there are only few amendments. But the amendments are coming in. With the singular objective of protecting the interest of the depositors. Protecting depositors by ensuring that we don't have any more such difficulties like the ones which are being faced by PMC-like problems. We want to bring in proper management. We want to make sure that they are professionally run. Sir, we also underline that we need, if at all, to restructure any such cooperative bank. We should be able to do that without bringing in a moratorium period. When we bring this provision that they can be restructured without a moratorium, which is what is being obtained by amending Section 45, we are able to give a quick recovery, quick payback, and also make sure the interests of the depositors are kept safeguarded. Contrasting experiences which people will remember, depositors will remember, the public will remember, is the way in which the PMC solution is getting protracted when solutions will have to be offered to the depositors, as opposed to the way in which Yes Bank's restructuring happened. Within a matter of 2 weeks, everything was sorted out for Yes Bank, which was governed by the commercial bank rules, whereas even till today, the PMC Bank solutions are not completely emerging, thus putting the depositors into difficulty. Therefore, since the commercial bank restructuring could happen as a result of commercial bank rules being extended to them, they are governed by the commercial bank rules, and therefore some kind of solution was possible. Whereas commercial bank rules are not extended to cooperative societies which function as banks. And that is why here what we underline is this is not going to affect any of the cooperative societies' other developmental activities. The amendments that we are bringing in here are purely to impact on and govern those activities of cooperative societies which do banking, which call themselves as banks, and do carry forward the functioning of a bank. So cooperative societies doing other activities are not going to be covered. Only those cooperative societies which use the word bank or function as banks will be governed by these amendments. I've explained already as to why we want to bring in these amendments, because protection of investors. In the last 2 years, I have myself met with several delegations of depositors who are in difficulty. The PMC, Guru Raghavendra are two classic cases. I want to also make it clear, sir, that this set of amendments shall not apply to primary agricultural credit societies or cooperative societies whose primary object or principal business is providing long-term finance for agricultural development. They shall not be covered by these set of amendments. And state cooperative laws are not also being touched And therefore, when people spoke about, will it change now the voting pattern? Because the cooperative societies do have this voting pattern of one vote, one member. Now, when we do these amendments, is that going to affect them? Not at all. All that are governed by the state cooperative laws, and therefore, since we have nothing to do through these amendments on the state cooperative laws, nothing of that will change. So, although there are several other explanations that I can give justifying why we want to come up with this amendments, I think amply many of the members have rightly spoken about it. I don't want to elaborate. But during the COVID period, we should kindly remember that during the COVID period, many cooperative banks have come under stress. Their finances are also being closely monitored by the regulator RBI, which regulates them from 1965 itself. We want to be clear that many of the banks, cooperative banks, and their health in terms of maintaining a certain kind of banking norms, which they may or may not follow. I'll just very quickly give for the record's sake, give the numbers, sir. 277 urban cooperative banks are reporting loss. 105 urban cooperative banks are unable to meet the minimum regulatory capital requirement. 47 having negative net worth. And 328 urban cooperative banks are having more than 15% gross NPA ratio as of March 2019. And with the pandemic setting in, this stress has also increased in both cooperative, with gross NPA ratios of urban cooperative banks increasing from 7.27% in March 2019 to 10% in March 2020. Therefore, these changes are very required, absolutely necessary to protect the depositors. And therefore, I appeal to you, sir, with all the members speaking, I thank all of them. Many of them have welcomed this. I'm indeed grateful to them. This is timely and required. You would also remember that the deposit insurance was also increased by us during the winter session, budget session probably, and insurance cover has also been enhanced. With this said, sir, I seek all the members' cooperation through you to have this bill passed.
Thank you, madam. Since the